Good morning. I am. I just ran downstairs because I forgot my book. I'm out of breath. Good morning. Oh my gosh, I need to get back into shape. It's amazing how quickly you can fall apart. So anyway, last night I got a message that someone wants to see the current book I'm reading. So I thought I would share it with you. I just started it. I can already tell it's going to be much more academic than the last one I read. So we'll see. It's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be quite the page turner, but you never know. We'll see. But it's called "What Makes Your Brain Happy and Why You Should Do the Opposite." It's actually something I'm very interested in because I don't know that it's going to address this, but the phenomenon that I often see is that people are resistant to doing things because it doesn't fit who they are now. And what a lot of people don't understand is that what the place where they currently are is a result of everything they've done before. And when you continue doing the things that got you here, you're not going to go someplace different. So you need to change your behavior, right? It's the whole purpose of Define My Day. It's what Define My Day helped me do overall. And it's what I am trying to have it do for a lot of other people. But it's this concept that, like, when somebody says, this won't fit my life, or I'm just not that kind of person, maybe they need to be, right? Maybe we need to look at this as a formula. And again, it doesn't matter what it is. Could be Define My Day, could be exercise, could be how to get a job, how to get a promotion, how to get rich, whatever your priority is, how to have a good relationship, how to have a good family. And we can't continuously say, that's not me. That's not how my brain works. That's not that's not compatible with who I am. And what you have to do is look at the end result you want and the necessary steps that you have to take to get there. And that's going to involve changing what you do, your actions, your behaviors, your habits. And it might not come naturally. That's why you haven't been successful yet, because you're capitalizing on what comes naturally or what you've learned in the past and not learning the skills required to attain the goal you want. It's a hard realization to come to, but it's really important. Like, it takes a growth mindset. It takes some self-reflection. It takes growing your self-awareness. It takes becoming a different version of yourself. So, and it takes some humility, I guess would be a good word, right? It takes some humility. You have to look at yourself and go, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. And in order to get where I want to go, I have to change the way I'm thinking, right? So, if you ever find yourself saying, I'm just not that organized, I am just not that motivated, I am not that smart, I am not that energetic, I am not that whatever you're defining yourself as, stop it. Stop it. If something is required of you to attain a certain goal, if you want that goal deep in your heart, if it's aligned with your purpose and your vision, then you need to make some changes. You need to have some growth in some areas. And as long as you're in alignment, you're going to go through some pain, but it'll be worth it. So, What Makes Your Brain Happy and Why You Should Do the Opposite is the book that I have just started. Might be bringing some topics to the conversation based on this book. Good morning. I'm Nick from Define Life, creator of Define My Day. Most of you guys know who I am. We see the regulars coming in here every day. I appreciate you joining me. I hope you're having a good morning so far. I'm going to get into the comments right here. Good morning, Carrie. Good morning, Stacy, Levi, Lori, Mary, and Anna. All of you, good morning. We've had a busy day today already. My boy woke us up at 3 o'clock this morning with leg pains, growing pains, whatever you want to call them. Something that I never experienced as a kid, and that's why I'm 5'5" now, probably. I don't ever remember having growing pains. But at 3 in the morning, he did. So he jumped into bed with us, and I massaged his legs a little bit. And Lynn gave him some Tylenol. And it's funny because immediately after he got the Tylenol, they didn't hurt anymore. At least they didn't hurt as bad. And so the conversation Lynn and I had this morning is she was just reading about how kids cope with this current situation. And we're under just a little bit more stress being a family run business. The house, situation that we're dealing with. So there's a little extra stress on top of being stuck at home and all the other stuff. That comes out in kids. It's absorbed by kids. Doesn't necessarily come out in kids the same way as it comes out in adults. And it comes out as sometimes acting out. It comes out as physical pain once in a while, stomach aches, things like that. So that's what she was considering this morning as she was sitting, by herself, kind of going over what happened last night. So we talked a little bit about that. And it kind of gives more value to the things that we're trying to implement now to swing the pendulum in a different direction. Last night we played Uno for about an hour at the kitchen table after dinner, and everybody was kind of looking forward to it. I wasn't. I'm like, Uno. I was never a big fan, but it's family time, so the priority isn't so much the game; it's being together. So we all sit down and we play it. And the very first hand, I get a skip card and I skip our 6-year-old. He lost his mind, threw his cards down, ran out of the room. And of course, me being, dad, get back here and sit back down. That's not how we act, right? Now listen, this is how the game is played. Sit down, let's go, right? Not showing very much empathy at that moment. But so he realized, okay, that was not the right way to behave. And, we played, and that was probably, Lynn won 4 times in a row. I don't know how many of you play Uno, but it is almost impossible to win 4 times in a row. And at one point, 2 hands in a row in the last game, she got a draw 4 card from my son and had to draw 8 cards in 2 hands, and she still won that game. So my kids are, it's rigged, she's cheating, she's like all this stuff. But she was laughing. We were laughing and yelling at each other the entire time. Aside from my son's one little blow up, it was a pretty good time. And she definitely cheated. I don't know how, but we'll figure it out. But it was great. We even got some photos of her just like losing her mind every time she won a hand. And then when we thought we were beating her after she got those 8 cards, we were yelling at her, "You're gonna lose! You're gonna lose!" We're all yelling at her, and she still came back and beat us. And nuts, absolutely nuts. But that time right there, her and I were talking about it. Like that's what we need to do more of. It, those are the things you have to plan, and don't just wait for them to happen spontaneously. You have to be intentional with your time, and we all fall victim to it. Days go by, weeks go by where we don't talk to people. We don't have the connections in a relationship. In that process of continuously coming back to like planning, like we are going to get together. And if you think about like when I was a kid, dinner at grandma's house on Sunday, like that was a planned get together. Like everything else wasn't planned, but that was on everybody's schedule. And I think we've lost a lot of that. And that's kind of what this is, like, okay, we're going to eat dinner at 6:30 and then we're going to sit down and hang out and we're going to play Uno. And that's what we're doing right now. And, I think it was pretty successful for Lynn, especially. Good thing there's no money on that game. And, we'll continue doing stuff like that, and we'll have to add some variety to it. And, we'll see what we come up with, but it was fun. It was a good time. Paula, good morning. Anthony, forgot to say good morning. That's okay, man. Good morning. Janice, good morning. Good morning from soggy Kentucky. Anthony, yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, look. So this is it. Premeditated life, right? So this is incredibly important. Like we can't wait for things to happen. We have to plan good things the same way we plan obligations. Um, like we need to make sure being intentional with even our down and fun time. So I preach it more and more often because I was one of those people, and then sometimes it creeps in. I'm one of those people that allows much too long like time to go by. Like I don't work on relationships actively, especially the most meaningful ones. You feel like adding in like some intention to it might make it scripted or phony, but that's not the case at all. Angel says, I hope that your son is really growing pains, but if those persist long term, get an x ray. I assume that it was going on with my daughter, who's 5'9", but she actually had a 4-inch long lesion in her femur that could have been dangerous. Whoa. Now she has a femur with the strength of titanium. We were lucky nothing bad happened to her. Good, yeah. Wow. That's crazy. And good morning, Deborah. Angel. Wow. So, I think at this moment, both boys have had something like this. So it doesn't seem like anything out of the ordinary yet. And I think given that the pain relief was over pretty quick after getting Tylenol, I think he's okay. Um, yeah, and Patty, I agree. So yeah, I'll have to keep an eye on it. I'm not going to mention that to my wife though, because I think that might send her down a Mayo Clinic search herself. But yeah, so we've had it with both boys. It's happened, and I know my brother, who's 16 right now, he's like 6'2". He had like my stepmother said that he had some significant issues. So I mean, it's hereditary, I guess, but we'll see. But I'll keep an eye on that. The flip side of that, you go into like the purpose of pain. This morning, he feels much better, and he's literally running around the house talking about how much he's grown. And he's walking up to me, going, measuring himself next to me, and then going, "Oh, look, I can almost touch your head." And like, so now he's seeing that like that pain he went through made him grow, and so now he's running around the house all excited that he's growing. So it's that he made a connection there and gave some purpose to what he was feeling last night. So it was a pretty cool thing to see. Stacy, just putting my 2 cents on top of you're talking about people using I am. It's helpful if people are more responsible using that phrase. When we invoke that phrase and anything we add after that is energetically sending a command to the universe. It goes on frequencies of universal laws. It's invoking divine creation energy. It's not a phrase to toss around without thought. Whatever you are declaring yourself to be with that, you are asking the universe to make it so. If one adjusts it to like I am experience as opposed to I am, like I feel fatigued instead of defining oneself as tired. And so, Stacy, you're actually touching on something that Lynn and I were talking about this morning because somebody sent her an Oprah conversation she had with a man, and I don't know the guy's name, but they were talking about like people being vibrational beings, right? So it's a little more woo woo than I tend to go, but I'm also open enough to understand that there might be things out there that I don't understand. But he talks about the vibrations you put out in the relationships and who you're attracting back. It's very much like The Secret or Bob Proctor and like these guys that talk about the vibrations we put out there, right? And so it goes very much to being authentic. It goes very much to how you define yourself. And you're right, because there's a big difference between I am and I am feeling, right? Because I am feeling means it's momentary. I am is how you're defining yourself. So, and you're sort of taken exactly going deeper on what I was saying is that a lot of times people say to themselves, I am not smart enough. And there's a big difference between I am not smart enough and I can learn a new skill, or I am not knowledgeable of this topic, but I can be. So we get, like, in our society likes to define people and bucket them in, right? Like, people like to say, like, this person got this IQ or scored this, so this is what they're limited to. Like, we sort of do that without explicitly doing that. And I object to anytime somebody says anything like I am whatever. And even we were this isn't this funny how these conversations happen. Talk about vibrations. Lynn and I were talking this morning about people that say I am self-aware. And I feel like that statement alone indicates that you have some awareness growth that needs to happen. Because I feel like the people that are incredibly self-aware realize that there is so much more awareness that needs to happen. And when somebody says, I am self-aware, it's an immediate red flag to me that says, like, you're not seeing that there is so much room to grow. You're looking at it with a fixed mindset, and you're thinking that what you know now is what you know, and there's nothing about yourself that you need to learn any more about, right? And there's probably other things in there, but that's my immediate response. So if you're saying to yourself, I am blank, I think it takes away any ability for personal growth. I am whatever, right? You just, like, it might be what you are right now, but you have to add that bit of, like this is just momentary, right? I am right now this, but I could be something different tomorrow, a moment later. And perspective shift, and this is incredibly big right now. We've been kind of down about the house thing, right? That it's taking so long. And I was watching TikTok last night for the first time in months, because I realized it was kind of taking up a little bit too much of my time. I don't go on TikTok like to do anything, but I watch other people because I think it's an incredibly creative place. There's things that people are doing in under a minute that are hilarious and incredibly talented. And last night, I had two perspective shifts. One is that people are doing incredibly funny and creative things while stuck at home, and they're just hilarious. And number two, I caught a video of a military, like an army squad, assuming they're in Iraq or Afghanistan someplace. And one guy's wearing a helmet with a camera attached, like a GoPro or something. And they are under attack. And one guy gets hit with RPG shrapnel, and they're swearing, they're yelling at each other. They're trying to get the one guy across from one tree to the next. And he's getting over there and he's going, F this. And he's hurt, right? And they're returning fire, and like there's all this stuff going on. And I like had this immediate like, dude, like, get over yourself. Like, and that's the thought that I had was like, man, you got nothing going on like these guys have going on. These guys are right now in this video literally facing a life and death situation. And you're talking about like your business, you're talking about your home that you might get, you're talking about like marital struggles. Like, again, it goes back to like your pain is all relative to what you are experiencing right now. And, all of the things that we talk about and stress out about like every day, right? Whether it's the economy, a virus, our jobs, our living situations, even our relationships. Like, they're all a big deal now because that's our experience. But throw bullets coming at you, and all of that stuff is like, whatever, man. I got a freaking guy with an RPG over here shooting me. Like, it's all perspective, right? And so, like immediately after watching that video, I'm like, okay, whatever. Whatever happens, happens. Like, I'll deal with it, right? That's like the immediate perspective switch, the perspective flip that happened for me. So we went to bed. We giggled about a couple of videos that I saved that were really funny. Like little animal videos and like all kind of stupid stuff, like people doing some pretty funny stuff. And then we went to bed and, woke up to my kid at 3 a.m. But aside from that, slept, I think, a lot better last night than we have in recent nights. So, that's a connection. Levi says that's a connection for life in general. Though pain comes growth, uh, through pain comes growth if you can see the glass is half full. Yeah, absolutely. I am scared and I am strong. Yeah, right. And yeah, Anthony, it's all relative. It's all relative. And so, what you perceive as a threat to your current situation is going to be painful. And a step up is going to be, a gain in happiness. But once you step up and move into that new situation, there's a whole new bunch of pains and there's a whole new bunch of stress in situations. So, um, it's all in how we deal with it. It's all in how we deal with it. Um, but I think it's important to be open to those other perspectives and open to those other situations. So, yeah, yeah. But that's what I wanted to talk about today. That's pretty much all I have for today. We're gonna try. I will schedule it if we can do it because right now things are really up in the air. I'm gonna try to do the happy hour at 3 o'clock today over on Facebook.com/defined life. Um, and if I can make it there, I'm gonna try. I don't like using the word try, but I'm gonna try to make it there for that. And if I can't, again, I promise I will make it up to you. But either way, unless something crazy happens, I'll be here tomorrow morning for our 10 o'clock. Um, and it's funny. Let me get these comments here before we go out because Anthony, I love this. Every level has another devil. That's an awesome saying. I love that. I'm gonna have to remember that one. And Caroline says, I feel like when we surrender to a situation, we learn so much. The universe has our back. There's a reason for everything. There's always something to learn in every good or bad situation. And going back to that question we talk about all the time, what can I learn from this? No matter what the situation is, what can I learn from this? I love it. Anthony, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for your input today. I appreciate it, man. Hey, look, everybody have a great day today. I hope I can see you tonight. If I can't, I will catch you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Take care.